Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I am the owner operator of Berner Babies. A few days ago I put online and I asked for suggestions of what you all needed videos or guidance on, and one of the topics was social anxiety and kind of like irrational fears. And so today I thought, man, that is a really good topic to start with. It was one of many, but I thought, I feel like I can do the most good if I start with that one. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. How can we get our dogs to kind of get over that social anxiety that they have, or maybe those irrational fears that they have? In my many years of raising dogs, I have come across some dogs that have kind of this weird social anxiety, or they just kind of get it stuck in their head that all of a sudden they're afraid of something. And so it becomes our job to get them over that hurdle so that they can live a happy and normal life. So we're going to start with, we're going to start with if you have a puppy, how can you prevent social anxiety and kind of those irrational fears from starting? So when you get your puppy home, it's important that you don't go to spaces where there are a lot of dogs because your puppy is not fully vaccinated. So we're going to start with that, having a non-fully vaccinated puppy. And so I have a list. I always have a list, right? So I have a list with notes that I want to make sure that I get all of our points. So you want to make sure that you are socializing your puppy right away. So if you get your puppy from Berner Babies, you know I'm a huge germaphobe. I don't allow a lot of people here. You have my employees, my family, my vet, and that's literally all your puppy gets to see. But we have the playpen, and the playpen is really used as socialization. You know, you have new toys, new sounds, new textures, kind of a way of start socializing new experiences. And so that's a great tool to start with here. But once you get your puppy into an environment where their vaccinations are starting to work, their horizons become a little bit broader once they leave. So once they leave, they are beyond that 10 days where their first set of vaccinations have a little bit of a chance to start working. So once you get your puppy home, they are allowed to be around other dogs that are vaccinated. So we recommend that you start taking your puppy to your friend's house, to your family's house, people with dogs that you know have been fully vaccinated, and even people without dogs, to just try to get them exposed to new people, new places, and that is a great socialization tool. So we do not recommend taking them yet to dog parks or places like PetSmart or Petco. However, Lowe's and Home Depot often allow dogs. And so those places are kind of a great socialization area where you can take your dog, you can put them in the cart, and they're just, kind of experiencing new things, new places, and also is a great socialization tool. So now, once your dog is fully vaccinated, which is, they've had 3 sets of distemper, distemper and parvo, which really is like the big diseases that we worry about. So that happens at 12 weeks. So they have a 6-week distemper, a 9-week distemper, and then a 12-week. So once your puppy is 13 and a half weeks old, after they've had that 3rd round of the distemper and parvo shot, then you can start taking them to the dog parks and to Petco and PetSmart and places like that, where they can interact with more dogs and more dog-friendly people, where they can really start to interact with all kinds of situations and all types of different dogs. So once that really starts happening, your dog's really going to kind of get used to that. So you don't have to do this every day or even once a week. Maybe like twice a month for the first 6 or 9 months to really get them used to that. If you have a Bernedoodle, make sure as soon as they're 4 months old, you get them to the groomer. That way they can start experience that. If you have a Bernese Mountain Dog that you plan on taking to a groomer, same thing. You want to get them to the groomer right away, or Yorkie. You want to make sure that if your dog is a dog that you need groomed, you get them to the groomer right away. You want them to be absolutely comfortable with the groomer, the sound of the clippers, the nail clippers, the scissors, all of those things, and your groomer will get them used to that right away, even if it's just the sounds. So that's if you have a puppy. So let's say now you have an adult, and maybe they were social, and now they have created an environment in their own head for whatever reason where they are now fearful and have anxiety. So this does sometimes happen. We don't know what triggers it, but something in their own mind has triggered them to be afraid. And sometimes in the bigger breeds, it can be very disheartening for you because it's hard to control them. You're not sure what is making them afraid. And so now it's your job to make them once again be comfortable. So the very first thing is to make sure that you realize this has to be done on their terms, baby steps, and to make sure you are not yelling at them, you are trying to be as calm as possible, because try to put yourself in their shoes. You know, if you're afraid and someone is shouting at you, let's go, let's go, let's go, you're fine, you're fine, you're probably not going to feel very fine. You're going to resist and resist and resist because you're scared. So you're going to get much better results if you're calm, if you're nurturing, versus if you're shouting and frustrated. So let's start with just social anxiety in general. They're afraid to go out in public with new people, new surroundings. So if you happen to have like a town square or a main street where there's a lot of traffic, not traffic cars, traffic people. If there's a lot of people, take your dog downtown in this area and just walk them around. Just get them comfortable. It doesn't have to be a long time, 10-15 minutes, just walk. You can just sit and allow them to just watch the people, and being very encouraging with treats, very good praises. If they're being calm, just, say, good girl, good boy, here's a treat, you're doing so good, good job. And then just random, and I know it sounds crazy, you are going to be that crazy person, just kind of randomly approach maybe people who look a little friendly and say, excuse me, would you mind petting my dog? She has a little bit of anxiety, or he has a little bit of anxiety, and we're trying to teach her that she's okay in new settings. Most people are agreeable. Some people will tell you no, but most people are agreeable. And when she allows, or he, I'm going to just say she for this example, when she allows that person, that stranger, to pet her, just remind her that she's doing so good. It only has to be for a few seconds. Good girl, give her the treat and move on. So maybe in this 10 or 15 minutes, have that done maybe once or twice. Make sure you over the top praise. She's so good. You're doing so good. And you wouldn't have to do that the first time, but maybe the second or third time, just allow people to approach her. So long as you don't feel like she's going to be aggressive in any type of way. Most of the time, it's just honestly anxiety. They're so nerved up. They don't know what to do. And especially in the Bernese Mountain Dogs, it's not aggression, it's fear. And so long as you are there and you are calm and kind, it's not going to be an aggressive stance. So, so you'll do this several times, just reassuring, showing how good they are, that they are okay. And like I said, you can just sit there and allow the dog to kind of just say, I'm okay. This is totally okay. So, I'm going to talk about one dog in particular. I did not get their permission to talk about this, but sometimes I will go and work with my puppies that are now adults. And this was a dog that actually had social anxiety, and then kind of irrational fears had happened in him that were kind of needless. So we actually did this in their town square, and he is now thriving, very social in his new comfortable mindset. But he had also become very fearful of his own backyard. Like this really happened. He was terrified of his own backyard. The family had no idea why, none at all. So what the family and I did is I actually went to their house because none of his social anxiety or kind of irrational fears that had happened nothing was going to be fixed by him coming to me. Everything was going to be me coming to him. So I went to him, and so the dog had 2 kids. And so I told them, I'm like, you guys go play in the backyard, and me, the dog, and his mom all stood outside the fence. And we just sat there, and the mom and I talked, and we stood there for probably 15 minutes, and the dog just watched the boys play in the yard. Now, what I told Mom, I said, eventually he's going to feel like he's missing out. Those boys are playing, they're having a great time, and he's just watching. And he watched and watched, and he kept getting antsy. He wanted so bad to go play back there, but he was scared. He has this irrational fear now of their backyard. And eventually I let go of the leash, and he went to the backyard. So he had worked up in his mind this crazy fear that something bad was going to happen if he went to the backyard. But that day, his boys playing in the backyard overrode his fear, and he went to the backyard to play with the boys. And something amazing happened. He got to have fun and play with his boys again. And after that, the backyard was a great place again, and his fear was gone. He also had developed a fear of the car. So we had this one horrible experience at the vet. It was during COVID that this happened, and his mom was not able to go to the vet with him or go into the vet with him. And after that, he didn't want to get into the car again. So kind of the same thing. His mom and I got into the car. We were acting like we were having a great time. And pretty soon he jumped into the car. Well, after we got him into the car, we took him to his favorite spot. He got to have a great time. And after that, he was good. So it's just kind of getting into the dog's mindset of not every time you do something that you have psyched it up in your head that is bad, will it always be bad? You might have had one bad experience in the car because you went to the vet and had a bad time, but next time you might get to go somewhere fun. So, you got to listen to your mom and get in the car like a good boy. And so that's what we did with him. But the social anxiety thing, it really is just baby steps. And that fear is kind of the same thing. It's baby steps. It's kind of waiting them out. And with like that fear of the backyard, I knew he loved his boys. And so if he saw his boys having fun without him, eventually he would want to join them. Like I said, I don't remember if it was quite 15 minutes, but we just stood and we waited. And we were sitting there talking, and eventually he wanted to join them. And that really is exactly what it is like with the social anxiety as well. Eventually, they will want to join in the social setting. We just have to kind of wait them out. And we have to show them that it's okay. And we just have to go at their pace. So no big deal. So I just want to kind of say the overuse of treats, calmness, kindness, and praise will go a very, very long way. And just make sure that you keep that tone. Once you kind of get to that place where they are comfortable in a more social setting where you don't have like the heavy panting and the shaking and things like that, that is a great opportunity to like introduce a doggy daycare or something like that to keep them comfortable in these social settings with strangers, things like that. And again, it's not something that needs to be done every day, just something to keep them familiar and comfortable. So I hope that this helps. If you have any questions at all about this, please let me know in the comments. I feel like this is such a great topic, and I really appreciate whoever suggested it. Really is a great topic. And if you have any other topics that you would like to have me cover, please mention them down below in the comments. And make sure that you like and subscribe below so that you get notified anytime I make a new video. And again, thanks for following Berner Babies. I appreciate it. Bye, everyone.